Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful. I'd like to welcome you, dear viewers, to another in our series, In the Light of Islam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah's peace and blessings be on each and every one of you. Dear viewers, we have with us another set of questions from our viewers, like yourselves, who have queries about different aspects of Islam, which they would like clarified, and they have written in, as we invite all of you to write in and get your answers, get answers for some of those questions that have been bothering you that you haven't been able to get answers for. The first letter we have is a letter written in by Afreen Ridwan Bustani. She writes, Dear Dr. Bilal, I have a question I would like to raise to you. Could you please clarify it for me? Can a 7-year-old boy be an imam for the family? The same boy, we're not always able to wake up for prayer, for Fajr, that is the morning prayer. And he gets up angry. What do you think about this? Well, the question of whether a child of 7 can lead people in prayer is a technical one, first and foremost. Whether he gets up for prayer or not, for Fajr, or whether there are these other issues, gets angry, these are other factors. The issue is primarily, can a 7-year-old boy lead adults, for example, in prayer? Why would they consider doing that in the first place? Because he knows more Quran than the rest. This is the most obvious reason. Because Prophet Muhammad, may God's peace and blessings be upon him, had instructed us that the one who should lead us in prayer is the one who knows the most Quran. So if a 7-year-old boy, for example, his parents have put him in Quran school, or they have a party who comes to their home and is teaching him Quran, so he has managed to memorize more Quran than anybody else in the family. So now they're faced with this dilemma. He's a little boy. Should we put him to lead us in prayer? And then they, of course, have this other question mark. Even should we put him to lead in prayer, especially when in the mornings, for Fajr prayer, that is the early morning prayer, which is coming in now around 4 o'clock. He doesn't want to get up. And when we get him up, he's angry with us. Should such a person lead us in prayer? Well, technically speaking, yes, he should lead the prayer. One of the companions narrated that when he went back to his tribe, after being told that the Prophet ﷺ said that whoever knows the most Quran should lead the prayer, he said when he went back to his tribe, and he informed them of that, they looked around and they checked amongst themselves, and they found that the one who knew the most Quran was himself. And he said, I was only 6 or 7 years old at the time, and I led the prayer for my tribe until now. Okay. He was a youth, 6 or 7 years old. He led not only his family, but the tribe. This is a whole gathering of people, a community, meaning that he could lead in the mosque. It's not just in the home. He could lead it in the mosque. If he is, for example, and you have children in different parts of the Muslim world who have memorized the whole Quran and they're only 7 years old. It happens. There are many cases. If he is the Hafid, or one who has memorized the Quran in the community, then he should lead the prayers. Of course, such a child should know the basics of prayer. We are assuming that by the age of 7, they should have learned out the prayers, because Prophet ﷺ had said that you should, instruct your children with prayer by the time they are 7. They should already know all the prayers, how to do it, etc., etc. Because if he had gone and memorized it, he didn't know how to lead the prayer. He doesn't know how to make the prayer himself, then of course, then it would be pointless. Obviously we're talking about a child who knows the basics of prayer, what to do, etc. Once they reach the age of 7, even younger than that, 6 is possible. As long as the child knows the most Quran, knows what to do in terms of prayer, then they may lead them in prayer. As I said, of course, in terms of him getting up for Fajr, he gets up, he's angry, because he's tired. He's a young boy, we should encourage him to get up. Maybe, offer him some kind of gifts or whatever. If you get up, we'll be able to, you need a new bike or whatever. We'll get you a new bike if you, get up regularly for the next month. Something that would encourage him, give him some kind of incentive to do it. And then once he gets into the habit of doing it, then, it will be easier for him. So, one may say, oh, this is material incentive, but it's a child. The child doesn't have the kind of consciousness, to be able to distinguish between the spiritual and the material. So we're going to say, we should motivate him spiritually. No, he's too young. So it's sufficient for us to motivate him in the material world, to get him into a mode of doing things which will eventually benefit him spiritually. The next question we have is from Khalid Quatri. He writes, and he's writing from Dubai also. He said, I'm married and I have 3 children. Myself and my wife agreed mutually that she should work and I would look after the children. That is, role reversal. As her work is Islamic and earns us more, is there a percentage of her earnings which is her own, or do all of her earnings belong to me as the husband to do with as I please? Well, we have a situation here. The wife is going out to work, the husband is staying at home looking after kids. This is not the norm, as he referred to it as a role reversal. It's not something encouraged in Islam, but where a circumstance requires it, where the husband is not able to find work, suitable work to look after the family, the only type of work he's finding is something which is un-Islamic, requiring him to do things which are forbidden, etc. And she is able to find something which is Islamic, meaning the environment is Islamic, the work she's doing is Islamic, it's beneficial, Islamically, etc. Then she goes out to work, not as a permanent choice, but as a temporary solution until such time as he gets a job. This is something permissible if they agree on it. This is something permissible if the husband and wife agree. Nobody can come and say, hey, this is wrong, you need to get out to work and let your wife stay at home. No. I mean, as long as the children are looked after by one of the parents, and of course it's preferable that it be the mother, because the qualities of the mother in really raising children, these are qualities which God has given her. Special qualities, which men, generally speaking, don't have. So it's not something recommended, something which should be normally not preferable Islamically, but permissible. But now in terms of what she earns, is it her own? Does she have a portion of it? Or does it all belong to her husband? 3 possibilities. That it's her own. She's gone out to work. What she earns is hers. Well, it depends on the agreement that has been made here. If the husband and wife agreed that she is the one who's going to go out and work, and that money is going to be shared, then that's what is done. Technically speaking, according to Islamic law, if a woman works, whatever she earns is her own. It's her own. But this is as long as the requirements of the home are taken care of. Because, as Prophet ﷺ had said, كُلُّكُمْ رَاعٍ وَكُلُّكُمْ مَسْئُولٌ عَنْ رَعِيَّتِهِ. Each and every one of you is like a shepherd responsible for his flock. And the man is responsible for the family, and the wife is responsible for the children. So the man is responsible to provide for his wife and children, and the wife is responsible for looking after the children. So now if she goes out to work, leaving looking after the children, she is doing something which is secondary and giving precedence to it over something which is primary, which is looking after her children. This is her first and foremost responsibility. The responsibility for which she will be asked on the Day of Judgment. So now, if she's going to go out to work, and this is agreement with her husband, then her role is being taken over by her husband, looking after the children. Therefore, she cannot now claim all of this money is mine. No. If she is giving up her role, then her husband takes it over, then that money coming in must be for the family. You know, as it would have been if the husband was out working and the wife was taking care of things at home. Now, the money which comes in, technically speaking, initially, is for the family. What is surplus is hers. I mean, what is enough to get the family by, pay for the rent, pay for the food, the basic necessities, the needs, necessities,